So, Cole, you wrote for The Devil's Advocate a piece about technology in schools. So, tell me about that piece.
Yeah, it was mostly about, like, the BHS uses a lot of iPads at our schools, so I was interested to see, like, the positive and negative impacts that it has on the teaching, the education, and, like, the students themselves.
Did you go in with your own perspective on what you thought?
I was kind of neutral because I think you have to be, because to get the best article, you have to be a little neutral. But I'd say I'm a little bit more on the side of, I don't really have an opinion, to be honest.
Okay. Well, what did you hear from the people that you talked to?
Well, so students were very heavy on the iPads because it's more intriguing to them, because obviously, like playing interactive games on the iPad to like help learn, like GameKit, is much more interesting than reading a textbook. But the teachers are more on the side of the old school paper, because they said there are studies that show that writing stuff down can lead to better, like they learn stuff better when you write stuff down. Students do.
Were there any like teachers who were less in favor of technology, or the other way around, like teachers who were more in favor and students were against, or it was pretty like teachers?
It was pretty.
That's so
teachers,
interesting.
Yeah.
So what was the writing process like? Like, how did you decide how you were going to approach the story?
Well, I did a little background first. I looked at like what's happening overall in the world, and it seems like most schools are shifting towards technology. So I went to get a little background first, then got my interviews, and then I just started writing.
Did anything surprise you when you were doing the reporting?
I would say like how many schools are using iPads. Or not iPads, but technology. Some schools use Chromebooks or MacBooks, and others use iPads. But it's really like feels like it was a fast change, which is surprising.
Was it COVID, do you think, that did it?
No, it was before.
It was, okay.
Because I remember having iPads in like first grade, which is a while ago.
I remember, I think it was the last edition of The Devil's Advocate. I might have this wrong, but I think it was AJ who wrote a story about like earpods in schools.
Yeah.
And so I don't know. I feel like this is like something that you guys are talking and thinking about a lot. Which is
yeah.
Fun. So last question, Cole. How did you like writing for the newspaper as opposed to writing essays and research papers?
Well, I think you can talk about more interesting topics. Like usually when you're writing for like an English paper, it's like the prompt is set. But I feel like the creativity of writing articles more, there's more creativity because, you know, I can pick whatever I want. I mean, it has to be ethical and it has to be the right topic, but I still get a lot of choices what I want to write. And I also get to connect with other people and learn what other people feel about the topic I chose.
Well, so what's next for you? What's your next piece?
Well, I'm writing my final project, which is about the Celtics championship run. I haven't written it yet, but I'm waiting to see if the Celtics win it tonight.
There you go.
So hopefully they do.
That'll kind of determine the tone of the story.
Yeah.
Well, Cole, thank you very much.
Thank you, too.
Okay, so I'm here with Meghna and Anthony. Thank you guys so much for being here. So you guys did some movie and TV reviews for The Devil's Advocate this time around. So Meghna, let's start with you. Tell me what you reviewed.
I reviewed the 2 movies and 1 show. The 2 movies were La Pata Ladies, which means Lost Ladies, if you translate it to English. And I also reviewed Madam Web. And the show I reviewed was Summer Strike. So I liked both La Pata Ladies and Summer Strike, but Madam Web was not it. So
You know, I've heard that a lot of people had that opinion. You aren't the only person I've heard to say that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Anthony, what about you?
I'm reviewing a movie named Fall Guy, and I'm reviewing multiple shows, like The Bear, Cobra Kai, All American Homecoming, and then I'm also reviewing Buffalo Wild Wings.
So a little bit of like a movie, mostly movie and TV, and then also like one restaurant.
Yeah.
You did sort of like a returning shows to watch, which I thought was really cool and interesting. So maybe I'll ask both of you this question, like, how did you decide what you wanted to review? Meghna, do you want to start?
So I I like Lapata Ladies very much. It really showed the transition in India from misogyny in the 1900s to the 21st century, and how a lot of ideals and values change. And I felt like it was a very valuable thing to watch, and I wanted people to know it. But people will barely know what the movie even is about because it's in another language. So I just kind of wanted to break that. And Madam Web, I had really strong opinions about it, so I just wanted to let that all out. And Summer Strike was a really nice movie, and it just like, I feel like romance and love in media has been really romanticized to a point where it's not realistic, but Summer Strike kind of breaks that, and I just wanted to showcase that out as well. So.
And Anthony, why did you pick what you chose and not anything else?
Well, I went to go see Fall Guy like a week prior, and I really liked it. And I liked how they like showed like there's like a movie inside the movie, and it was like about like action and how like they represented like what the movie about was in the movie was like representing this like couple that was like it was like how do I put this? It was like representing them, the movie.
Had you guys ever written like movie or TV reviews before?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're old hat. But I guess, so how do you like take an opinion and then like formulate it and structure it into a review? I don't know, like how do you go about the writing process, I guess?
I feel like you have to base your opinion off of facts, so people know where you're coming from. Like if I was talking about, again, like misogyny in like the 1900s and how that is transitioning to the 21st century, how Lapata Ladies showcase that, I would be talking about a scene, and then I will be basing my opinion on it by kind of analyzing that scene a little bit.
Okay. And then last question, how did you like writing a review as opposed to, or for a newspaper as opposed to writing essays or research papers?
I actually really like writing the reviews way more because like I feel like it's like my own opinion on like, I mean you can write an opinion based article, but like these are more like opinion based.
What about you, Meghna?
Yeah, I like writing reviews more, especially because we know ourselves and what our opinions are more than we know of others' opinions. And if we kind of share our opinions, I feel like other people will understand where we're coming from a really structured review. And I just kind of like analyzing pieces of media like that. So,
do you guys have like next stories in the can? Final projects, next ideas?
Really. Not yet.
Not yet? All right, we'll TBD on that.
Yeah.
Thank you guys very, very much for sitting with me. Okay, I'm here with Devil's Advocate journalists Annabelle and AJ. Thank you both for being here.
Thank you for having us.
So I want to start with a little bit about your stories. So AJ, talk about what you chose to write about.
I chose to write about vinyl records, and their comeback in recent years, especially because they came out in like, the original ones came out in the 1800s, they weren't vinyl, but the vinyl ones came out in 1948, which is a really long time ago. So the fact that they're still alive today is like fascinating, and I wanted to explore that trend.
Okay, and Annabelle, you did a photo essay, so talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, I went to the freshman, what is it? The dance, the semi-formal, yeah. And I just took like photos of different like dynamics of the dance.
What made you want to make that your project?
Well, earlier in the year we did a photojournalism, like, was it a unit?
Yes.
Yeah. So we did that, and I really enjoyed it, and I'm actually taking photography next year. So I figured that for my final project I'd like to do something like that. And I didn't go to the homecoming, so I was really interested about like what it would be like, so I thought it would be cool to like document that experience.
Yeah. So I imagine that having, like, writing a written story, exploring this kind of topic, and doing a photo essay are really different processes. So AJ, how did you had this idea, and then how did you start to think, okay, how am I going to tackle this as an article?
I started thinking of like people that I've like encountered that have like own vinyls, who like I could contact. It's kind of difficult because yes, there's a lot of people who own vinyls, but like you don't really know how to ask them, like, hey, do you have vinyl records? But it was a lot of fun, and getting to like ask people and like get to know people and like getting to see how many people you didn't think would have things in common was really cool.
Okay. And Annabelle, I imagine a lot of your process happened in the room, right? You were physically taking photos in the space. So how did you decide how to go about that? You walk in the door and like, what do you do?
Yeah, I tried to get different like types of shots. I didn't want everything to be just of the people or just the lights or the setup, so I tried to like make it like variation a little bit. But like the process at first, I kind of just had to like wait until the day because there wasn't much I could do to like prepare for it. So there was a lot of waiting, but I feel like when I got there, it was like I could take pictures of this and this and this. So
Yeah. And then AJ, did you have like a perspective going in on what you thought vinyls were about, and then did it change at all over the process?
Yeah, so originally I own vinyls myself, so I think that they're really cool, and I went in kind of just being like, okay, why do people suddenly have them now? And then it kind of changed to like the fact that these like forms of recordings can survive for that many centuries is like amazing. And I kind of just like doing research, I was like, this is so fascinating because like, you kind of don't really think about these things when you have them, and then when you really look into them, you're like, wow, this is so cool. And so like kind of looking into that was like a really fascinating thing. And then now I kind of think of vinyls as like, wow, the fact that we can preserve these is so cool.
Okay. And then Annabelle, back to you for a second. How do you like doing like photojournalism as opposed to like writing an essay or a research paper?
I mean, I like writing articles and like reviews and stuff. I just feel like I like to like, I'm a visual learner, so I kind of like having to like see something and like kind of like experience it in a way. So I think that's why I probably prefer it a little bit more.
Okay. Yeah. And AJ, what about you? What do you like about doing like a journalism piece as opposed to an article or a report or something?
I think it's just like really fun getting to like interview people and getting to know people, because like you talk to people you never would have talked to before, and just like the writing process, being able to sit down and just kind of like go through and draft and then be like, okay, what do I like about this? What don't I like about this? It's a very like thoughtful process, and just being able to like continue and go through that and just like kind of really think about things is really good for like processing and just like cognitive like exercising, which is really nice.
Oh, cool. And do you guys have like next projects in the works?
I think that's it for the year.
I think for the year, that's it.
Because
cool.
I mean, it was our finals.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I had fun though.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Because I feel like as opposed to like other articles, we didn't have like peer reviews and we didn't like do as much editing. So well, yes, there was the pressure of the finals. There wasn't as much pressure on it to like be so strict about things. So it kind of felt more like a free-form expression thing. It was just really fun and exciting.
Well, cool. Yeah. Well, congratulations on having written and photographed these pieces.
Thank you.